Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Vina. Today I have a fun little Paris haul for you. I did do quite a bit of shopping. I actually managed to get a bag at Hermes in Paris, so I will also be sharing a few tips on how you can get a bag in Hermes Paris without a leather appointment. So I'm gonna be saving that bag for the end, so definitely stay tuned. So one of the things that was on my wish list was to get a pair of ballerina flats from Repetto. If you've never been to Repetto before, it's such a beautiful store. It's super girly. They have all these different colors of ballerina flats and they're so cute. I ended up getting these chocolate brown pair of ballerina flats. I already have a lot of black flats, so I wanted to get something different. These ones are very comfortable. They're very, very soft. The leather on them is pretty similar to the leather on the Chanel ballerina flats, but I do find them more comfortable. The best part about these flats are that they're adjustable. So you can actually loosen or tighten the bow in order to make it looser or tighter depending on how wide your feet are in the front. So while I was at Le Bon Marché, I also picked up a jacket from the brand Soeur. So it's a French brand, so I absolutely love the jacket that I bought. The look of it is very quintessentially French. I love how effortless it looks, and I really, really like how it falls on my body. I'm a pretty petite person, and I find that the length of it doesn't really overwhelm me, and I feel like it fits very well, and I just absolutely love it. It was definitely cheaper buying it there than buying it online, so I'm very, very happy about that. The color of it is very neutral. I find that it doesn't really run too warm or too cool, so you can definitely pair it with a lot of things. My favorite way to wear it is over a pair of skinny pants or a pair of leggings with some boots, just to balance how oversized the jacket is. So every time I go to Paris, I also love picking up a few souvenirs for my friends and family, but also some essentials in our household. One of the things is French butter. So butter has become a very popular souvenir for a lot of people when they go to Paris. I got mine simply at the local corner grocery store in the neighborhood. I think it was like a Monoprix or a Carrefour or something, but the La Grande Épicerie at Le Bon Marché has a very, very wide selection of butter. By the time that I kind of remembered that I needed to grab butter, it was our very last day. I wasn't about to trek all the way across the river to Le Bon Marché, so I just ended up picking it up at my local grocery store. What I ended up doing was freezing it the night before and then putting them in Ziploc bags to travel with, and they last pretty well that way. You can also get them vacuum sealed at Le Bon Marché. These are very good. Le Beurre is also very good, but I find myself liking this one a little bit more. It's also cheaper, so when you're in Paris, definitely grab some butter home. It makes a really nice gift to give to your friends and families. Another thing that I picked up while I was there, and it was one of the shops that I really, really wanted to check out this time, is from Marin Montagut in Saint-Germain. This is a little tray or a little dish with the Luxembourg garden chairs. One of my favorite things to do, especially in the summer, is to just chill out by the park and sit on these little cute green chairs that they have everywhere in front of the fountains. So it just brings joy to me whenever I see it. And it's a nice little memory of the fun times that I have in Paris in the warmer months. Another Instagram famous store that my sister and I checked out while we were there was the Officine Universelle Bully. I ended up getting a custom lip balm. This is pretty cool because you are allowed to put 3 letters on there. My first name, my legal name, happens to only be 3 letters, so I was able to put my full name on there. The store itself is so beautiful. When you walk in, it really feels like you just step back into time. The workers are very, very friendly and they're very patient with you. I took quite a long time picking out my colors, and they were so sweet and so patient, but everything there is just so beautiful. You know, you can really appreciate the craftsmanship in their products and their attention to detail, but also just how they are so committed to making everything just look so beautiful. The lip balm itself is unscented. It's not as moisturizing, but I mean, hey, like, you know, I wasn't expecting much. You're buying it for the cute packaging pretty much. So I picked some pretty classic colors that were similar to kind of the vibe of the store. I ended up picking a burgundy color with the black case and gold initials. So yeah, if you ever go to Paris, I highly recommend checking out the store. I ended up going to the Marais location. There was only maybe one group ahead of me when I was there, but I heard the lines can get very, very long. They also carry the line, and you can also do the engraving at the big department stores. So I believe Le Bon Marché and Galeries Lafayette also carry the brand, and you can do engraving there as well, and there's not much of a line. That's another tip if you just want to go for the items and get your engraving and go to the department stores. But if you want to experience kind of the store, but also maybe the cafe that's in the store, then you might have to wait in line for a bit. So while I was at Le Bon Marché in the handbag section, I spotted a display of a smaller French brand called Fane. They're based in Paris, and they're a little bit of a newer brand, and I tried on a few of the bags and I loved it. We were kind of shopped out at that point, so we ended up going home after that. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about the bags, so I ended up going to another boutique in the Marais where we were staying, where they carried the brand, and I ended up picking up one of their bags. And this is the Fane bra bag. I just love how minimal it is, but it's not plain. You can tell that it's very well designed. I just love the structure of it. The reason why it's called the bra bag is because of these pleats right here. It reminds you of a bra. I just love the structure of it and how it just has one skinny strap. It's just a perfect bag for a night out. It's just so minimal, and there's no branding on it. The magnetic closure is also hidden, so there's no hardware at all. I love how the drop is a little bit lower. I just love how it just drops right at the perfect spot, the most skinniest part of your waist. So it's very, very flattering on. I feel like this was just so thoughtfully designed. I just love how it's a Parisian brand, and it's not really something that you can get in person other than in Paris. They do sell it online, but again, it's a lot cheaper to get it in France. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out on this brand, especially when they come out with other styles. They have a few other styles that are very, very beautiful as well. I tried on a few of their other styles, and again, just like this one, they just fall so beautifully, and they're just so effortless and so minimal. It gives me the Row vibes without the Row prices, and also Freya vibes just with real leather. So that's kind of my description of Fane. So moving on to the most exciting part of the haul is my Hermes haul. So I ended up not really doing any luxury shopping other than at Hermes. I ended up getting the white pair of Orans sandals. So I did end up getting a lot of wear from them this summer. Only thing is that because I don't really have any white accessories, I had to make sure that I wore these with like a white dress or a white top. So it was a little bit hard to match. So nevertheless, this pair served me pretty well. I feel like, you know, for a pair of luxury sandals, they're pretty good. They have a little cushion on the back, and the leather is pretty soft. This is in the calfskin leather. I heard if you do get them in the Epsom leather, they're a little bit more uncomfortable. So if you are looking for a pair of Orans, try to get them in the calfskin leather. So I definitely did get a lot of wear from them this summer season. So I definitely think they are worth it for a luxury pair of shoes. Just because of how much I already wore them this summer. So another thing on my Hermes wish list was to get some silk scarves. So the first scarf that I got is a Jouer de Casting scarf. This one is really cute because it has dog prints on it. I have a dog, she's a Chow Chow. Unfortunately, they don't have any Chow Chows on this scarf, but as a dog lover, I couldn't kind of pass this up. I really like the colors on this one. Again, I did pick this one up end of May, beginning of June. So it kind of went with the season that I was in when I bought it. I ended up wearing it right away at the French Open, and it went perfectly with my outfit. After the spring summer season, I didn't really end up wearing it much. So this is definitely more of a warmer month scarf just because of the colors. So the second time I went to Paris, I knew I wanted to pick up a scarf that maybe had a little bit less color, was more neutral. This one I had seen online. This is a Paris Qui Roule scarf in the 70 size. This one's absolutely beautiful because it's black and white. I don't really wear color, and the main colors I wear are black, white, and beige, maybe navy. So this, you know, definitely goes with a lot of my outfits. Right when I saw it on the website, like I knew that I wanted to try to look for it. The Hermes store that I went to had it. So I'm really, really happy I was able to pick this up. So my last item, I think it's the most exciting item. So when I was in Paris back in the summer, I tried for the lottery appointment online every day that I was there, and I could never get a leather appointment. So every time I visited the store, I went straight to the leather desk to ask and see if they had any cancellation cancellations for the day. Every time I went, they had told me, oh no, sorry, we don't have any cancellations. But on the very last day of my summer trip, right after we got back home from the French Open, we popped into Hermes because that happened to be right in front of the metro stop. I went straight to the leather desk, did a little bit of small talk with the guy manning the desk. I told him I was just at French Open, and this was about 5 or 6 p.m. Just right before closing. He looked up my email to look up my information, checked my passport, and he said, come have a seat. At this point, I was freaking out because, you know, I've heard stories of this happening, and I was so happy that I finally was able to get in. I texted my husband that I got one, and so he ended up waiting at a cafe across the street for me. Sat down and I met a sales associate. She wasn't the most friendly sales associate in my opinion, but you know, she was just all business. I asked her obviously if you had any Birkins or Kellys. They said, oh no. I mean, obviously that's a lie. I mean, but hey, like I get it. They don't really offer quota bags to walk-in appointments, so I was fine at that point. I asked for mini bags, either a Neo Garden Party, mini Evelyne. She showed me a regular size garden party. I didn't really like the color. I didn't really like the garden party, so I turned that one down. And then she said, okay, wait, let me bring something out. I know you'll like it. I'm like, okay. So I waited, and she brought out this, and it is the mini Evelyne in the Etoupe color. So I happened to be wearing taupe that day, so it went perfectly with my outfit. Oh my gosh, I love this bag so much. The mini Evelyne was something that I had my eye on because obviously I really like mini bags, and I knew that it would be something that was going to be more practical. It's such an easy bag to just grab and go. I like how understated it is. It doesn't have a big logo on it. You know, it does have the H, but there's no hardware here. You can also turn it around. It's just so freaking cute, and I'm so glad that I was able to get it during my trip to Paris. It did come with a strap. It came with a navy colored strap, which was really, really long on me. I tried to kind of like play with it to make it shorter, but it didn't really work out. So I ended up buying an aftermarket strap for it on Etsy that fit my frame a little bit better, just because I am short. So the original strap that it came with is pretty long. The aftermarket strap on Etsy, I think, matches it perfectly. The hardware, it doesn't look too different, so it doesn't look too fake. Yeah, I've been loving it. Every time I go grocery shopping or just like running errands, this is the bag that I normally gravitate towards. It fits my phone, my wallet, my keys, a chapstick. So I was just super stoked to be able to get my hands on this. The transaction went by very quickly. I saw the bag, I said, yes, I'll take it, and I left, I think, all within like 20 minutes. So I feel like I got super lucky on that trip. I tried my luck the second time I went to Paris this year, and they didn't even look at my information, and they said, oh no, sorry, no cancellations. It was probably a really busy time of the year. It was right before Christmas, so I don't blame them. But I'm just very, very happy that I was able to get this. So just some tips from what I've read online and from my personal experience. Definitely, obviously, try the lottery. Make sure you're logged onto a local Wi-Fi. You can use a name, email, and passport number from other people in your party. So if you have multiple people, obviously that will increase your chances. I happened to stay close to an Hermes the first time we went to Paris this year, so that made it a little bit easier. So I was able to check in every now and then. The time I went closer to closing, that was when they were able to squeeze me in for a walk-in appointment. So I think if you are trying for a walk-in appointment, definitely ask closer to closing when it's not as busy. I find that first thing in the morning was actually pretty busy. Another pro tip, if you are looking for something like a to-go, so like a Kelly to-go, Constance to-go, it's actually considered a small leather good, so you don't have to have an appointment for that. Another tip that I've heard from other people is that obviously if you are a big spender, you're buying things like fine jewelry. So if you're buying things from other departments and you happen to spend a lot, you know, you can get to know an SA and maybe they can kind of get you the in for an appointment. But you know, your girl's on a budget, so I just tried my luck at the leather desk every day asking for a cancellation. I definitely feel like this has been one of the most used handbags for sure in my collection for this year. I'm so lucky that I was able to get an appointment, or a walk-in appointment, I guess, during my Paris trips this year. So this concludes my Paris haul. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks. Bye.